Okay, the anti-vax people already hated Bill Gates for whatever reason, and I'm about to show you why anyone that's pro-vaccine should also hate Bill Gates. So the one statement we can all agree on is Bill Gates should fuck off.
The recipe for these vaccines to be shared would be helpful. And do you think that would be helpful?
No.
Why not?
Well, there's only so many vaccine factories in the world, and people are very serious about the safety of vaccines. And so moving something that had never been done, moving a vaccine from, say, a J&J factory into a factory in India.
Now, why the fuck the rich dickhead picked that example? Because I swear the Johnson & Johnson factory just reopened after being closed down because of 15 million contaminated doses. And the second part of his example isn't just wild because of the crisis that's happening in India because of their second wave. And not just because India makes most of the world's vaccines. It's fucking wild because Bill Gates himself fucked it up for everybody. I'm sorry, I just saw this, but thank you so much for asking this because this is important and I should explain it properly and clearly so it's easily understood. Now, once anyone who hasn't has followed this comment and watched that TikTok and seen the clip I included, and now that everyone's back, we'll go through this comment starting at the end. Okay, Bill Gates isn't so much a proponent for vaccines, like a huge advocate, but more so a huge advocate of privatizing them, having a patent on them. In that interview, he was asked if it would be beneficial to share the information on vaccines, and he said no. And it wasn't him that said that about India, that was me commenting. He actually said in that clip that justification for not sharing the patent on vaccines something to do with the safety of them, but gives the examples of Johnson & Johnson's, which had to close down because they had 15 million contaminated doses. Because you just can't move something like that to India. I'll make a whole other TikTok for India because it's important. Bill Gates is a proponent of profit from vaccines.
The recipe for these vaccines to be shared would be helpful. And do you think that would be helpful?
No.
And okay, I want to make it clear that I'm not just talking about India and Bill Gates because he mentioned them in that clip. I'm talking about all this because he is directly responsible for this. This article from the 1st of May, India, South Africa to make fresh push for waiver for vaccine patents at the WTO. And the leader of India is also to blame for not prioritising his own people until the last minute. Right, keep what's happening in India in your mind right now and look how many doses were made for each country. Now this is the start of March and note that it goes China then the US. And this is what's really important. Now if anyone was to have a problem with India first, if they put themselves first with their vaccine manufacturing, you gotta come for them guys too, you know? So they gotta fight the WTO. The US wouldn't send them specialty supplies they needed. Oh, and Australia wants to arrest people if they're coming from here. Like, for fuck. Alright, this is from the 11th of March. The US is sitting on tens of millions of vaccine doses the world needs. Those tens of millions of doses from AstraZeneca are waiting for trial results while countries that authorise the vaccine beg to have them. Now this, paired with a chart I showed in the last TikTok about this, and this is why all those articles that are written in a way to like criticize India for wanting to keep more of the vaccines they made for their own people, those articles make me violently mad, and I don't need to explain why, because you can just watch this from the start again and then go click through the rest of the TikToks I've made about this. It's fucking disgusting what we've done. We've gone backwards. We've gone so backwards as a human race. We've fucked up real hard, everyone. We have really fucked up.
Got to obviously make sure that every American gets vaccinated as quickly as possible. But I do think not only do we have a moral responsibility to help the rest of the world, it's in our own self-interest. Because if this pandemic continues to spread in other countries, it's going to come back and bite us at one point or another. But the second thing we should do is not only make sure that excess vaccines in the United States get around to countries that need it, we should deal with this issue through the World Trade Organization of protecting the intellectual property rights of the drug companies. And I think what we have got to say right now to the drug companies, when millions of lives are at stake around the world, yes, allow other countries to have these intellectual property rights so that they can produce the vaccines that are desperately needed in poor countries. There is something morally objectionable about rich countries being able to get that vaccine, and yet millions and billions of people in poor countries are unable to afford it.
Don't look at me. I haven't been focusing any energy into, that person. I haven't been putting thoughts into the universe of any... No.
Fuck you, Bill Gates.
The one statement we can all agree on is Bill Gates should fuck off. I'm sorry, it's just so far-fetched that nobody will believe you, and I feel safe. You can't prove I'm responsible in any way, so it's fine.